Jack Hudson stood at the window of the space station, looking at the stars. 17 years of war had made these quiet moments rare. The Kava'ari aliens had attacked Earth without warning. Now humans were fighting for their survival. Jack checked his uniform one last time. Admiral Reeves had called him for a special meeting, but didn't say why. As a commander who had survived the Battle of Epsilon Eridani, Jack was used to tough missions, but lately he felt tired. The war was not going well for humans. About the door to the meeting room slid open. Jack walked in and stood at attention. Admiral. Reeves was already there with someone else. A woman Jack didn't recognize. Commander Hudson, thank you for coming, said Admiral Reeves. This is Olivia Mason. She be working with you on a special mission. Jack looked at the woman. She seemed ordinary in every way. Average height with brown hair cut short in a simple style. She wore a standard Navy uniform with no rank marks. Nothing about her looked special or dangerous. I'll leave you two to talk, said the Admiral, walking to the door. The details are classified. Level 10 security. The door closed, leaving Jack alone with the woman. Level 10 security meant this was more important than anything he had worked on before. Please sit down, Commander, said Olivia. Her voice was calm, and even Jack sat across from her at the table. What's this about? We need ships and weapons to fight the Kava'ari, not secret meetings. Olivia watched him with steady eyes. You've fought the Kava'ari for a long time. 15 battles, 7 major victories. And we're still losing the war, said Jack. That's why I'm here, she said. To change that? Jack looked at her with doubt. No offense, but who are you? I've never seen you in any briefing or battle plan meeting. That's because I work alone, said Olivia. Behind enemy lines. Jack laughed without humor. Nobody works. Behind Kava'ari lines. Their security finds all human spies. Their technology can smell human DNA from 100 feet away. Olivia didn't argue. She simply reached into her pocket and placed a small black thumb drive on the table between them. If you doubt my kill count, open folder 1, she said quietly. Jack stared at the small device. What is this? Proof, said Olivia. Folder 1 contains records of all Kava'ari targets I've eliminated in the past 15 years. Folder 2 has maps and security details of every Kava'ari base within 50 light years. Folder 3 has control. Codes for weapons platforms we captured. The Kava'ari don't know we have them. Jack didn't touch the drive. If this is real, it should go to Intelligence Division, not me. It already went to them, said Olivia. Now it comes to you because you're the right person for what happens next. Which is what? We're going to end the war, she said simply. Jack finally picked up the drive, turning it in his fingers. It looked like a standard military storage device. Why me? You survived when your ship was destroyed at Epsilon Eridani, said Olivia. You got your team out through Kava'ari territory with no weapons and no support. That's the skill I need. Jack, put the drive down. I'll need to verify this information. Of course, said Olivia. You have 24 hours. After that, we leave for Kava'ari space. Leave for, Jack stood up. That's suicide. No human ship can get through their defense. Network. We won't be using a human ship, said Olivia. She stood up too. Read the files, Commander. Then decide if you want to save humanity or keep fighting a losing war. She walked to the door, then stopped. The Admiral said you lost your family. When the Kava'ari attacked Boston, Jack's face hardened. Yes, my wife and daughter. I lost people too, said Olivia. Her eyes showed the first real emotion, a deep, controlled anger. We all did. That's why this has to end, whatever it takes. After she left, Jack sat alone for a long time, staring at the thumb drive. Finally, he picked it up and went to his quarters. The station's night cycle had begun by the time Jack reached his small room. He locked the door and inserted the drive into his secure computer terminal. The screen lit up with a simple menu showing 5 folders. Jack clicked on Folder 1. What he saw made him sit back in shock. Page after page of mission reports. Each one detailed a completed operation against the Kavari. The reports included dates, locations, target information, and verification codes that could be checked against military records. Jack scrolled through them, his disbelief growing. According to these files, this ordinary-looking woman had killed more Kavari than some entire Special Forces units. The missions went back 15 years, starting just after the war began. He opened a report from 3 years ago. Operation Silent Storm infiltrated Kavari command ship during fleet gathering at Proxima Centauri. Eliminated Fleet Commander Vex Morak and 6 sub-commanders using modified nerve agent. Planted evidence implicating rival Kavari faction. Result: 3 Kavari battle groups turned against each other, destroying 27 ships. Human losses: 0. Jack remembered that incident. The military had called it unexpected luck when 3 Kavari battle groups suddenly attacked each other. It had given Earth forces time to evacuate the colony on Proxima 4. He opened another file. Operation Falling Night. Infiltrated Kavari. Homeworld Defense Grid Control Center. Inserted backdoor program into main computer. Program remains dormant until activation code is sent. Result: when activated, all orbital defenses will shut down for 12 hours. Status: ready. Jack closed the folder and leaned back, rubbing his tired eyes. If these reports were real, Olivia Mason was the most effective operative in human history. And she had been fighting a secret war while the regular military fought the visible one. He thought about what she had said, that they were going to end the war. Looking at these files, Jack believed for the first time that it might be possible. Opened Folder 2 and began studying the maps of Kavari territory. He had training to do and plans to make. In 24 hours, he would either join this mysterious woman on what might be a suicide mission, or he would report all of this to his superiors. But as the night went on and he read more files, Jack knew what his choice would be. The war had taken everything from him. If there was even a small chance to end it, he would take that chance. Outside his window, the stars continued to shine, unconcerned with the wars of small beings. Somewhere out there, the Kavari were planning their next attack. And somewhere, on this station, a woman who had killed more of them than anyone in history was waiting for his answer. Jack did not sleep that night. He read every file on the thumb drive. By morning, his eyes were red, but his mind was clear. The woman called Olivia Mason was either the greatest hero in human history or a very skilled liar. He needed to know which. The station's morning cycle began. Lights brightened in the corridors as Jack walked to the small cafeteria. He got coffee and sat alone, thinking about what he had read. Folder 1 showed that Olivia had killed 2,187 Kavari warriors, 349 elite shade commandos, 42 ship captains, and 3 high commanders. Most soldiers never even saw a high commander in their lifetime. Jack looked up as someone sat across from him. It was Olivia. "Did you read the files?" she asked. Jack nodded. "If they're real, you've done more damage to the Kavari than entire battle fleets. They're real," she said. "Check the verification codes if you want." "I did," said Jack. "That's why I'm still talking to you. But I have questions." Olivia sipped from her own coffee cup. "Ask." "How?" Jack kept his voice low. "How does one human get past Kavari security?" They can detect human DNA. They know our language patterns. Their ships scan for human life signs. I don't go as a human, said Olivia simply. I go as them. Jack waited for more. 15 years ago, Olivia continued, we captured a Kavari scout ship. Inside was their genetic technology. We learned how to temporarily change human DNA to read as Kavari or their servant species. That's not in any report I've seen, said Jack. It wouldn't be, said Olivia. Only 5 people know about it, now 6. She looked at him steadily. The changes last about 2 weeks, long enough for a mission. The pain is significant. Jack thought about this. And the language? The customs? I was a language expert before the war, said Olivia. I spent 2 years living with the first Kavari prisoner we captured. He thought I was his servant. He taught me everything without knowing it. Jack remembered something from the files. You killed him afterward. Your first confirmed kill. Olivia's face showed nothing. Yes, these missions, Jack said. You did them alone? No backup? No extraction plan? Teams get noticed, said Olivia. One person can move more freely. As for extraction, ... She shrugged. I make my own way out. Jack shook his head. That's not how military operations work. This isn't a military operation, said Olivia. It's survival. Humanity's survival. They sat in silence for a moment. Around them, station crew ate breakfast, talked about normal things. None of them knew what was being discussed at this small table. What's the mission? Jack finally asked. We go to the Kavari homeworld, said Olivia. We activate the backdoor I placed in their defense network 3 years ago. When their defenses go down, the human fleet attacks. The human fleet is scattered across 3 systems, said Jack. Not anymore, said Olivia. For the past year, ships have been gathering secretly at the edge of Sector 7. They're waiting for our signal. Jack stared at her. How do you know this? Because I helped plan it, said Olivia. The admirals needed someone who knew the Kavari homeworld. I've been there twice. Jack tried to imagine going to the enemy homeworld once and surviving. Doing. It twice seemed impossible. Why do you need me? He asked. Because I know how to get in, said Olivia. But this time, getting out will be harder. The Kavari will know someone attacked them. I need someone who can think quickly when plans fail. Someone who got his team through enemy territory with no weapons or support. Jack remembered Epsilon Eridani, his ship destroyed. 20 crew members, looking to him for leadership. The long, terrible journey through Kavari space, hiding, stealing what they needed to survive. Only 12 made it home. When do we leave? He asked. Tonight, said Olivia. Docking Bay 7. There's a captured Kavari scout ship waiting. Small but fast. Just the 2 of us? Just the 2 of us, Olivia confirmed. Jack nodded slowly. I'll be there. Olivia stood up. Bring only what you can carry in your pockets. The rest we'll find along the way. She started to leave, then stopped. Commander, once we start, there's no turning back. If you have doubts, now is the time. I've been fighting this war for 17 years, said Jack. I've seen good people die. I've given orders that sent soldiers to their deaths. If there's a chance to end this, I'll take it. Olivia looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. Docking Bay 7, 2,200 hours. After she left, Jack went to his quarters. He had preparations to make. He sent messages to old friends, made sure his personal affairs were in order. Just in case, at 2,130 hours, Jack walked to Docking Bay 7. He wore a simple black uniform with no rank insignia. In his pockets were a small knife, a portable computer device, and a photo of his wife and daughter. Olivia was already there, standing near a small alien ship. The Kavari scout vessel looked like a dark metal arrowhead. Its surface had the strange purple-black color of all Kavarai technology. "Ready?" Olivia asked as he approached. "As ready as I'll be," said Jack. Olivia pressed her hand to a panel on the ship's side. A door slid open. "One more thing," she said, reaching into a small case she carried. She took out 2 injectors. "This is the gene modifier. It will hurt. A lot, but when it's done, you'll register as Murshik to any Kavari scanner." "Murshik?" "A species the Kavari conquered long ago," said Olivia. "They use them for manual labor. Kavari barely noticed them. Perfect cover." She handed him 1 injector. "It starts working in about 6 hours. By the time we reach the first Kavari checkpoint, we'll be ready." Jack looked at the injector. A clear liquid filled the chamber. This small device would change his DNA, make him something other than human, at least for a while. "Will it change how I think?" he asked. "No," said Olivia. "Just how scanners see you. Your mind stays yours." Jack nodded and pressed the injector. To his neck. There was a hiss and a burning sensation that quickly spread through his body. Olivia used her injector too, not showing any reaction to the pain. "Let's go," she said, entering the ship. Jack followed her inside. The interior was cramped and designed for the taller Kavari. The control panels had strange symbols that Jack didn't recognize. Olivia sat at what must be the pilot's seat. Her hands moved over the controls with practiced ease. "You've flown this before," Jack observed. "Many times," said Olivia. She flipped switches and the ship hummed to life. "We have clearance to leave under the cover story of a testing mission. Once we're out of the system, we go dark." The ship lifted off smoothly. Through a small viewport, Jack watched as the space station grew smaller behind them. They were on their way to the heart of enemy territory. Just 2 humans against an entire alien civilization. The fate of Earth riding on their success. The pain from the injector grew stronger. Jack gripped his seat but said nothing. This was just the beginning. The real challenges still lay ahead. The small Kavarai scout ship moved through space quietly. 3 days had passed since they left the human space station. Jack's body had stopped hurting from the gene modifier, but he still felt strange. When he looked in the mirror, he saw himself. But scanners would see a Murshik alien. "We're approaching the first checkpoint," Olivia said from the pilot's seat. "Remember, keep your head down. Murshik never looked Kavari in the eyes." Jack nodded. He had spent the past days learning basic Murshik behaviors. How to stand, how to move, how to speak the simple words the Kavari allowed their servants to use. What if they asked questions? Jack asked. "They won't," said Olivia. "Kavari don't talk to Murshik unless giving orders. We're beneath their notice." She adjusted some controls. "But if something goes wrong, let me do the talking. I speak their language like a native." The ship's communication system made a harsh sound. A deep, clicking voice came through the speakers. The words were in the Kavarari language, which Jack didn't understand. Olivia responded, her voice changing to match the clicking sounds of Kavari speech. The exchange went back and forth several times. "What's happening?" Jack whispered. "Standard questions," Olivia whispered back. "They want to know our ship ID and purpose." She spoke into the communicator again, then looked at Jack. "They're sending scan beams. Don't move." A blue light filled the ship. Jack felt a tingling on his skin as the scan passed over him. He held his breath. The Kavari voice spoke again. Olivia replied, then switched off the communicator. "We're clear." They identified us as a regular supply transport with 2 Murshik workers. Jack let out his breath. "It worked." "It always works," said Olivia. She set new coordinates. 3 more checkpoints before we reach Kavari space. then 5 more days to their homeworld. The ship moved forward, leaving the checkpoint behind. Jack looked at the star map on the screen. They were now officially in enemy territory. "How many times have you done this?" Jack asked. "Crossed into Kavari space?" 17 times, Olivia said. "Gone to their homeworld?" "Twice." "And you've never been caught?" Olivia's hands tightened on the controls. "I was caught once, 6 years ago. They held me for 23 days before I escaped." Jack saw a flash of something in her eyes. Pain. Anger. It was gone quickly. "How did you escape?" he asked. "I killed 4 guards and took their ship," she said simply. "But not before I got what I came for." She touched a small scar on her wrist. "I don't plan to be caught again." They passed the next 2 checkpoints without problems. Each time, the gene modification worked. The Kavari scans showed 2 Murshik. Not humans. On the 5th day, Olivia called Jack to the front of the ship. "Look," she said, pointing to the VIEWSC. Jack saw a massive gas giant planet. Around it orbited 7 moons. One of them glowed with city lights. "That's it," said Olivia. Kavadrex, the Kavarari homeworld. Jack stared at the moon. Home to billions of the aliens who had attacked Earth, who had killed his family and countless others. Now just 2 humans were here, deep in enemy space. "The defense systems are incredible," Olivia continued. 3,000 orbital platforms, energy shields that can stop any human weapon, and a ground force of millions. "And we're going to shut it all down," Jack said. Olivia nodded. "The backdoor program is in their main defense computer. We need to get to the central control building and activate it." "What's our cover story?" Jack asked. "We're maintenance workers," said Olivia. "I have codes that will get us into the lower levels. From there, we find a way to the main computer room." Their ship approached the moon. More communications came in, more scans. Each time, Olivia handled it perfectly. Her Kavare language skills were flawless. The gene modification held. They were cleared to land. The ship descended through clouds into the atmosphere of Kavadrex. Jack got his first look at the Kavari homeworld. Tall, spire-like buildings rose into the sky. Strange vehicles moved through the air. And everywhere were the Kavarari themselves. They stood 7 feet tall with gray-purple skin. Their bodies were thin but strong, with 4 arms. Their heads had no hair, just ridges of bone. They moved with a natural grace that seemed at odds with their warrior reputation. The ship landed on a platform among hundreds of similar vessels. Olivia shut down the engines and turned to Jack. "From here, we go on foot," she said. "Stay close to me. Act like you belong. Murshak workers are everywhere in the city. We won't stand out as long as we behave correctly." She handed him a small device. "Put this in your ear. It will translate what the Kavari say." Jack inserted the device. It was uncomfortable but necessary. "What? About weapons?" he asked. "We can't bring human weapons through their scanners," said Olivia. "We'll get what we need inside." They left the ship. The air of Kavadrex was thicker than Earth's, with a strange sweet smell. The gravity was slightly higher, making each step feel heavy. Kavari moved around them, not giving the 2 disguised humans a second look. Just as Olivia had said, they saw the Murshak form and ignored them. Jack followed Olivia through the spaceport. She moved with confidence, never hesitating. They passed through several security points. Each time, their fake IDs and gene modifications got them through. "The central control building is there," Olivia said quietly, pointing to a massive structure in the distance. It rose above the other buildings, a dark tower reaching to the clouds. "How do we get in?" Jack asked. "The maintenance tunnels," said Olivia. There's an entrance 2 blocks from here. They walked through the alien city. Jack tried not to stare at everything. The strange buildings, the alien writing, the Kavari themselves. This was the heart of the enemy, and he was walking through. It in disguise, they reached a small door set into the side of a building. Olivia pressed her hand to a scanner. It flashed green. The gene mod makes our hands red as Mershak too, she explained as the door slid open. Inside was a narrow tunnel lit by dim blue lights. They entered, and the door closed behind them. These tunnels run under the whole city, said Olivia. Mershak. Workers use them to move around without bothering the Kavari. They walked for what seemed like hours, turning down different passages. Jack tried to keep track of their route, but soon gave up. Olivia clearly knew where she was going. Finally, they reached another door. Olivia stopped. This leads in the lower level of the central control building, she said. Once we're inside, we have exactly 47 minutes to reach the main computer, activate the backdoor program, and get out before the system does its security sweep. What happens if we don't make it out in time? Jack asked. The building locks down, said Olivia, and every Kavari warrior within 50 miles comes looking for us. She looked at him. Ready? Jack thought about Earth, about the war, about his family. Ready. Olivia pressed her hand to the scanner. The door slid open. They stepped into the heart of the Kavari defense network. The central control building was cold inside. Jack and Olivia moved quietly through dim blue hallways. Their footsteps made no sound on the smooth floor. Other Mershak workers passed them, heads down, not looking at each other. Jack copied there. Movements exactly. Left here, Olivia whispered. The main computer room is 20 levels up. We need to find a lift tube. They turned down a wider hallway. Suddenly, a door opened ahead of them. 3 tall Kavari warriors stepped out. There. 4 arms carried weapons, and their bone-ridged heads turned toward the 2 disguised humans. Jack kept his eyes down, heart pounding. He shuffled to the side of the hallway, as Olivia had taught him. Mershak always made way for Kavari. The warriors walked past without stopping. One barked a harsh command in their clicking language. He wants us to clean level 47 later. Today, Olivia translated quietly after they had passed. I acknowledge the order. They suspect nothing. They found a lift tube at the end of the hallway. It was a simple platform that moved up and down through a vertical shaft. Olivia pressed a code into the control panel. This will take us to level 50, she said. The main computer room is on level 60, but security is too tight for direct access. We'll need to climb through the maintenance shafts for the last 10 levels. The platform rose smoothly upward. Through the clear walls of the tube, Jack could see the inside of the building. Kavari moved about on different levels, working at strange machines. Some levels were filled with weapons. Others had maps of star systems. Their war room is on level 30, said Olivia, nodding toward a large chamber they passed. That's where they plan their attacks on human worlds. Jack saw dozens of Kavari officers studying a giant 3-dimensional map. Human colony worlds were marked in red. Many had been crossed out, destroyed. How much time do we have left? Jack asked. Olivia checked a small device on her wrist. 39 minutes until the security sweep. We need to move faster. The lift stopped at level 50. They stepped off into a quiet corridor. Only a few Mershak moved about here, carrying tools and cleaning equipment. Olivia led Jack to a small door marked with Kavari symbols. She opened it to reveal a narrow shaft with a ladder inside. Up, she said. 10 levels. These shafts aren't monitored. The Kavari think they're too small for anyone to use. They climbed in silence. The shaft was tight, meant only for repair access. After 10 levels, Olivia stopped at another small door. She pressed her ear against it, listening. Clear, she whispered. She opened the door a crack and peered out. Follow me. Stay silent. They emerged into a large room filled with humming machines. The walls were covered in blinking lights and control panels. No Kavahari were present. Secondary systems room. Olivia explained. The main computer is through there. She pointed to a heavy door at the far end of the room. Will there be guards? Jack asked. No. The Kavarari don't guard their computers. No one has ever attacked them here before. They rely on the outer defenses of the planet. They crossed the room quickly. Olivia stopped at the heavy door and took out a small device. She attached it to the door's control panel. The device lit up, running through different code combinations. This will take a minute, she said. It needs to find the right access code. Jack kept watch, scanning the room for any sign of movement. What exactly does this backdoor program do? It shuts down every defense system in Kavari space for 12 hours, said Olivia. Shields, weapons, communication networks, everything. The human fleet is waiting at the edge of the system. When the defenses drop, they attack. The device on the door beeped. The heavy door slid open. We're in, said Olivia. The main computer room was massive. A giant crystal structure stood in the center, glowing with inner light. Energy pulses moved through it in patterns. That's it, said Olivia. The Kavari quantum core. It controls everything. She moved to a control panel near the crystal. From her pocket, she took out a small data device. This will activate the back door, she said. Once it starts, we have exactly 3 minutes to get out before the system notices the intrusion. She inserted the device into the panel. The crystal's glow changed from blue to purple. It's working, said Olivia. Now a harsh alarm suddenly blared through the room. Red lights flashed on the walls. What's happening? Jack shouted over. The noise. Olivia checked her wrist device. The security sweep. It started early. She looked at the panel. The back door is still activating. It needs another minute. We don't have a minute, said Jack. The sound of running footsteps came from outside. The Kavidari are coming. Olivia made a quick decision. You need to go. Get back to the ship. I'll finish here. I'm not leaving you, Jack said. Someone has. To tell the fleet the attack is starting, Olivia insisted. If we both stay, no one will know if the plan worked. The footsteps were getting closer. The crystal was pulsing faster now, the purple glow spreading. 30 more seconds, said Olivia. She pulled a Kavari weapon from under a nearby console. I left this here on my last visit. Take it. She handed the strange gun to Jack. The maintenance shaft. Go down 30 levels to the ship landing area. Our ship is in Bay 94. The launch codes are already programmed in. Jack took the weapon but didn't move. You won't make it out. I've been in worse situations, said Olivia. She pulled another weapon from her pocket, a small blade. 20 seconds. Go. The door to the room began to open. Jack fired the Kavari weapon at it. Energy blasted the door, melting it shut temporarily. That won't hold them long, he said. The crystal suddenly flashed bright purple, then returned to its normal blue. The control panel beeped. It's done, said Olivia. The back door is active. The defense systems are shutting down. She looked at Jack. Now we both go. They ran to the maintenance shaft door. Behind them, the melted door was being cut through. Sparks flew as Kavari warriors tried to break in. They entered the shaft and started climbing down as fast as they could. Above them, they heard the main door finally give way. Angry Kavari voices filled the computer room. They'll check the shaft soon, said Olivia. We need to move faster. They descended rapidly. the metal rungs of the ladder burning their hands. After 10 levels, they exited the shaft into another corridor. "This way," said Olivia. "There's a faster route to the landing area." They ran down the corridor. Alarms were sounding throughout the building now. Kavari warriors were everywhere, rushing to battle stations. In the confusion, the two disguised. Humans weren't noticed. They reached another lift tube and took it down to the landing area. The huge room was filled with ships of all sizes. Kavari pilots were running to their vessels. "The defense systems are down," said Jack, pointing to the panicked activity. "They know they're vulnerable." "Bay 94, said Olivia. "There." Their small scout ship waited at the far end of the landing area. They ran toward it, weaving between larger ships. Suddenly, a group of Kavari warriors appeared, blocking their path. The leader looked directly at them. "Murshak, don't run," he said in the clicking Kavari language. Jack's translator let him understand. "What are you doing here?" Olivia didn't hesitate. She raised her blade and threw it with perfect accuracy. It struck the leader in the throat. As he fell, she grabbed the Kavari weapon from Jack and fired at the others. "Run!" she shouted. They sprinted the last distance to their ship. Olivia pressed her hand to the door panel. It opened, and they jumped inside. "Start the launch sequence," Olivia ordered, taking the pilot's seat. Jack found the right controls and activated them. The ship hummed to life. Outside, more Kavari warriors were approaching, firing weapons at the ship. "Shields holding," said Olivia. "Barely. We need to go now." The ship lifted off the landing pad. Through the view screen, Jack saw the chaos in the Kavari city. Ships were trying to launch. Defense platforms were dark and silent. "Look," said Olivia, pointing to the sky. Bright flashes appeared in the upper atmosphere. The human fleet had arrived and was attacking the defenseless Kavari ships in orbit. "We did it," said Jack. "We actually did it." Their small ship accelerated upward, heading for space. Behind them, the Kavari homeworld faced its first attack in history, with no way to defend itself. Their small ship raced away from the Kavari homeworld. All around them, space was filled with fighting. Human warships had appeared from nowhere, attacking the surprised Kavari vessels. Without their defense systems, the Kavari ships were easy targets. "The back door worked perfectly," Olivia said as she piloted their ship through the chaos. "Every Kavari system in this sector is down." Jack watched through the view screen. The massive Kavari battleships, once so feared, now drifted helplessly. Human ships fired at them without mercy. "We need to reach the human fleet," said Jack. "Let them know we're friendly before they shoot us too." Olivia nodded and activated the communication system. "This is Operative Mason on captured Kavari vessel. Authorization code Epsilon 793. Requesting safe passage to command. Ship." After a moment, a voice responded. "Authorization confirmed. Proceed to coordinates being transmitted. Admiral Reeves is waiting." Their ship changed course, heading toward a large human battleship at the edge of the fighting. As they approached, Jack saw the name painted on its side. Earth's Vengeance. "That's the flagship," said Olivia. "Built in secret over the past 5 years. They docked in one of the battleship's landing bays. When they stepped out of their ship, human Marines surrounded them, weapons ready. "Stand down," said a voice. Admiral Reeves walked into the landing bay. "They're on our side." The Marines lowered their weapons. The Admiral approached Jack and Olivia. "You did it," he said. "When the Kavari defenses went down, we couldn't believe it. Every system planet-wide. Nothing like this has ever happened before." "The backdoor program worked as planned, sir," said Olivia. "And the gene modification? Any side effects?" The Admiral asked. "None so far," Olivia replied. It should wear off in about a week. The Admiral nodded. Come with me. The War Council is meeting now. They'll want your report. They followed the Admiral through the massive battleship. Crew members stopped and stared as they passed. Word had spread quickly about the two humans who had infiltrated the Kavari homeworld. The War Council was meeting in a large room filled with screens showing the battle. 6 human admirals and generals sat around a table. They all stood when Jack and Olivia entered. Ladies and gentlemen, said Admiral Reeves, I present Commander Jack Hudson and Operative Olivia Mason. They just returned from the Kavari homeworld. One of the generals, an older man with gray hair, stepped forward. What you've done today will be remembered for generations. The turning point of the war. Thank you, sir, said Jack. But the mission was Operative Mason's plan. I just helped. With the escape. You both did what no one thought possible, said the general. Now tell us everything. We need to know what you saw on their homeworld. For the next hour, Jack and Olivia reported on everything they had observed. The layout of the Kavari city, the defenses, the number of ships, the locations of important buildings. The War Council listened carefully, asking questions. Based on what you've seen? Asked one of the admirals. How long will it take the Kavari to recover from this attack? Their backup systems will start coming online in about 7 more hours, said Olivia. But their main fleet is already heavily damaged. They've never been attacked at home before. They don't have experience with defense. And we press the advantage, said the general. All ships, full attack. We end this war today. Orders were sent out to the fleet. On the screens, Jack watched as human ships moved in for the final assault on the Kavari homeworld. What about civilians? Jack asked. There must be billions of non-warriors on that moon. The attack targets military installations only, said Admiral Reeves. Once their ability to fight is destroyed, we'll offer terms. They won't surrender easily, warned Olivia. Kavari warriors are taught from birth to fight to the death. Perhaps, said the Admiral, but their leaders are practical. When they see they can't win, they'll make a deal to save what's left. The battle continued for several more hours. Jack and Olivia remained in the war room, watching as 17 years of war approached its end. Finally, a message came in from the Kavari High Command. The Admiral put it on the main screen. A Kavari leader appeared, his bone ridges damaged in battle. We request terms, the Kavari said simply in his clicking language. The War Council exchanged looks of surprise. No one had expected the Kavari to give up so quickly. Tell them we accept their request, said the general. All attacks will stop if they power down their remaining weapons. We will meet to discuss permanent terms in 1 standard day. The message was sent. Within minutes, the remaining Kavari ships powered down their weapons. The battle was over. We did it, said Jack quietly to Olivia. The war is actually ending. Olivia nodded, but her expression remained serious. Yes, this war is ending. Something in her tone made Jack look at her. What do you mean, this war? Is there another one? Before she could answer, Admiral Reeves approached them. You two need rest. You've done enough for today. Quarters have been prepared for you. They were escorted to private rooms on the officers' deck. Jack's room was simple, but comfortable after days in the small scout ship. He showered, washing away the dirt and sweat of the mission dot as he was about to sleep. There was a knock at his door. It was Olivia. May I come in? She asked. Jack let her in. She looked different now, cleaner, but also more tired. The mission had taken a toll on her too, though she rarely showed it. I wanted to give you something, she said. She held out another thumb drive, similar to the first one she had given him days ago. What's this? Jack asked, taking it. The truth, said Olivia. About everything. Jack looked at the small device. What do you mean? The Kavahari War is ending, Olivia said. But there's something else coming. Something worse. The military has known about it for years. Known about what? Another alien race, said Olivia. Far more dangerous than the Kavahari. They'll reach our galaxy in about 8 months. Jack sat down on the edge of his bed. So this war, was preparation, said Olivia. Humanity needed to learn how to fight as a united force. The Kavahari were dangerous, but beatable. The next enemy won't be so easy. She pointed at the thumb drive. Everything you need to know is on there. The Joint Chiefs are forming a special task force to prepare for what's coming. They want you to lead it. And you? Jack asked Olivia. Smiled slightly. I'll be around. There's still work to do. As she turned to leave, Jack said, I still don't know your real name, do I? Olivia paused at the door. No, and you probably never will, but that's not important. What is important? That we won today, she said. And that we'll be ready too. Win again when the time comes. After she left, Jack sat looking at the thumb drive in his hand. The war he had fought for 17 years was over. His mission was complete. But now a new mission was beginning. He inserted the drive into his tablet and began to read about humanity's next great challenge. Outside the window of the battleship, the stars continued to shine, unconcerned with the wars of small beings. But somewhere out there in the darkness between those stars, something was coming. And thanks to Olivia Mason, whoever she really was, humanity would be ready.